The one area where I do see SB2 making a difference is that it gives all the voters a chance to vote, to come in and make decisions at least some point, where the town meeting does not allow all the voters to get in and make the decision at any point. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Tom, did you have another question?
Well, yes. I don't want to, beat this to death. This individual stood up that had been a former Comcast employee. Well, in Fremont, Comcast purchased Continental Cablevision, as you know. And we had equipment. We had to pay for that equipment. This individual stood up and said that we don't have to vote on any Comcast issues as far as a warrant article to buy discs or taping material, because we would get this material for free, and that's the way it was done. Well, after I was on I had no idea, so I'm assuming that this person is telling the truth, when indeed he was not telling the truth. And when I got on the committee, I realized that they've never done this. There's no intentions of doing this in the future. And of course, when we say that this, you hear the pros and cons, and you're going to get the facts on that particular warrant article, we certainly did not get the facts, and that's why it was defeated. So the 134 voters that were there, or whatever there were, and I think 90 or 95 voted in favor of turning this article down. Is town meeting the best thing? I don't think it is. I think if in a deliberative session you get an opportunity to find what's going on with all the information that comes out, and the public access channel and so forth, then you have 4 to 5 weeks to digest this material and then make your own decision. And there is no question of how many people come out to vote. Now, I'm not sure whether the contested race for town clerk was the reason 900 came out. If there were exit polls or something that I don't know about, but I don't know whether that's true or not, or whether people came out overwhelmingly in favor of SB2. I'd prefer to think it was SB2. But I'm certainly not saying that it is, because I don't know. But I do think that the more voters at the polls, the better it is for the town. And that's all I have to say.
I believe the reason, that the town clerk's race last year was the reason that brought out more voters, because if it wasn't, you had 2 years prior to that had SB2 on the warrant article, and we had more town meeting supporters support town meeting come out 1 year, and on the first year, by 1 vote, there were more SB2 supporters for SB2 than there was for town meeting. So I don't believe SB2 was what's really bringing them out, to be honest with you, Tom. And I do concur that it would be nice if people could take more time to study things, but, and in contrast to his 98% that Keith mentioned, I'm not saying everybody is not doing their homework, but a very, very large percentage of people who just go to the polls to vote in SB2 towns are not doing their homework. And that has been a constant complaint by the various town officials who are running the deliberative sessions in these SB2 towns. They're very upset that many people are coming and not knowing what they're voting on.
Always and the people who show up in huge numbers to vote at SB2 towns. Raymond, for instance, 50 to 100 go to the deliberative session. 1,500 come out and vote.
Which
are
is
you
a
saying
very
that
poor
those
percentage for a town with 11,000 voters?
Those 1,500.
I mean, 11,000 residents.
Those 1,500 people are unknowledgeable because they didn't go to the.
Keith, you're putting words in my mouth. I didn't
say
everybody
the words
is
are on the
unknown.
You'll see it.
Not everyone is uninformed.
So let's
but again,
I don't want to plow that turf again. So let's.
Right.
I guess, people have legitimate differences of opinion, and that's what this is about, and it's also an opportunity for people to ask questions and get answers to the best that they're available. And so that's why we're doing this, and if there's no new questions, and all the questions have been answered before, then I don't see any reason why we need to continue.
I guess I just got one quick question on that. Does it bother you that some people are unable to go to town meeting and therefore they lose their right to vote on how their taxes are spent?
Keith, you can have SB2.
Can you answer the question?
Would you let me?
Certainly.
You can have SB2, and the same problems can still apply.
But can't you vote by absentee ballot under SB2?
Not if you get sick at the last minute.
Yes, you can. The town clerk will go right over to the Poplar Nursing Home and hand you a ballot and let you fill it out, and she'll take it with you.
That's not going to the hospital in Exeter.
Well,
No,
then
she said
maybe,
that in the last one.
maybe at like midnight, if you got sick, sure, but if you got sick the day before, Peter got sick a year or two ago, he could have voted, he didn't have a chance to vote on how his taxes are spent. Ray Bernier got sick, he didn't have a chance to vote because there was no absentee ballot. So I guess the fact, does it bother you that some people cannot vote? Some people cannot vote on how their money is spent.
You cannot, with one swell swoop, solve everybody's particular set of
Then I guess it doesn't bother
circumstances.
you, is what you're saying.
I'm sorry, but
Okay.
this is not a new phenomenon.
So it doesn't bother
People
you.
know
It
town
doesn't bother
meeting
you
is
that
coming up.
some taxpayers cannot physically vote. They might not be in
I
town.
wish they all could, but no system is going to address every single
So-
legitimate
well, yes, it
concern
does.
everybody has.
SB2 does.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
I'm sorry.
You can't vote by absentee ballot on SB2.
I'm not going to get long-winded
So it
about this.
doesn't
You got
bother
my
you.
answer.
I guess you answered the question.
Keith, I'd just like to say that I didn't lose any sleep because I didn't get a chance to vote that day,
No.
okay?
No,
I would say-
maybe
I did miss my opportunity to vote, but I had more important issues to deal
But
with.
if you had wanted to, you could have.
I probably could,
If you had wanted to.
if I wanted.
I was a supervisor of the checklist for 29 years in this town. Never once did an elderly person ever come to the board and complain that they could not go out to vote at town meeting because it was at night or it was on a Saturday. I never had a military person ever complain that they couldn't vote at town meeting. I, as a historian, have given hundreds and hundreds of lectures to historical societies all over New England and the Northeast. They are in the evening. I've never seen elderly people stay home. If they can come out to lectures in the evening for 4 or 5 hours, they can come to town meeting if they really want to, unless they are ill. And I'm sorry if they're ill, but again, to me, it is more imperative that the voters know what they're voting on when they've heard the facts from the people putting forth the warrant articles,
Which is what
pro or
SB2
con.
does. SB2 gives you
If
that.
more people went to the deliberative session.
SB2 gives you that extra 4 to 5 weeks to read over everything that was said and
Unfortunately,
create knowledgeable voters.
Unfortunately, Keith, an awful lot of people are so busy with their lives, they don't take the time
That's
to
why
do
they
it.
don't want to sit for 3 hours on a steel bench.
Then they can't complain that their taxes go up.
You know, it all comes down to...
Where was your SB2 supporters last year at the school district meeting? You had 70 people sign that flyer, and there were barely 10 of you
There
that
was
were at the school
no
district meeting.
SB2 thing at the school district meeting.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying your SB2 supportors were not at
Well,
the...
there wasn't a
hearing about the...
Can I just clear that up, though?
That's right.
The
It's
SB2 supporters,
provocative.
the SB2 supporters would not be at school district because there was no SB2 proposal for the school district.
Then they can't
If
complain that taxes are
SB2
out of control.
passes in the town this
Monica,
year, next
please.
year, you'll see.